Hey guys, welcome back to Tanya's channel. Today we're talking about how James Charles is canceled.
Cody, you're so cute. Thank you for doing the intro.
Okay, so today's video is very, very different. What are you drinking? Strawberry lemonade?
Yes.
That's good.
In the Breakfast Club cup.
So yeah, today's video is very different. I don't do drama videos. I don't do anything like that. But
Tea.
I mean, me and Savannah will talk about it in our real life, like off camera, like what we think of things, but I don't really share my opinions too much about that sort of thing. But the reason why I'm doing it for this subject is because it affects me personally. So if you don't follow drama, if you don't follow what other people are doing and saying and all that all the time, pretty much everyone knows James Charles, and he recently made a video, which I did not watch, and I'm not going to watch, pretending to be pregnant for 24 hours or something. But he posted a photo of him pregnant on his social media, and he actually got a lot of backlash for it, and he deserves all of that backlash, in my opinion.
It's kind of like, he took it really seriously, like the photo, like it looked like it blended in with his Instagram, and that was like weird.
It's very photoshopped.
Yeah, it blended in with his Instagram.
So he pretended to be pregnant, and the people who are defending him are saying things like, well, he donated money to a women's charity or some shit, and he wanted to know what women go through when they're pregnant, that sort of thing. But none of that is okay. None of that's okay. And you can't even wear a belly bump for 24 hours and know anything of what a woman goes through when she's pregnant at all. But the reason why it was bad what he did is because it's incredibly insensitive to all women. Like women who have been pregnant, women who can't get pregnant, women who have miscarried, women who have had stillborns, like all women. It's insensitive. See, Cody agrees. So this is what I was telling Savannah earlier today when I was talking about it with her. I was like, look, when a black person or a gay person, for instance, has a joke made about them about being black or gay, and they take offense to it, they have that right to take offense to it because it's maybe about them.
It's derogatory.
If it's derogatory, like whatever, like nobody else if you're not gay or not black, then you can't say if something is offensive or not because you are not those things. The same goes for women, just women in general, because women aren't treated the same as men. But pregnant women or women who want to have a baby or anything like that, if you are not in our group, then you can't say if this is offensive or not. You don't have that right because you don't know what that's like. And for the women who have been through these types of things and they are saying that it did not offend them, that's fine. That's them. And they didn't take offense to it. Some women did. A lot of women did.
Yeah, and like, also with the video, like, I understand it's been a trend for years, right? Where boyfriends will be with their girlfriends, and it'll be their girlfriend's idea or whatever to give them like a pregnancy simulator or a period simulator just to see what it's like, and the guy can be like, oh, now I kind of learned more about what you guys go through, like what my girlfriend goes through, whatever. And that's okay. But when he did it, number one, he made it seem like it was his idea. He didn't like credit anyone or say that it's been around. He just kind of made it seem like it was, a fun idea I wanted to do. And number two, like he didn't do it how everyone else did. He just kind of I watched the video and he was like kind of annoying the whole time. And like he didn't really seem to understand, because other guys in the other videos understand like this isn't what it's really like, but he didn't really seem to like understand that. And he was like, oh, I could never do this, I can't even see my toes, and like, I don't know.
Yeah, his behavior in general is disgusting to me, but the fact that he did this is, it's gross. It is so gross. I don't know if I can say that I'm deeply offended by it. I think it's gross behavior. I think it's wrong. I mean, it's almost like someone doing blackface, or, you know, you're pretending to be something that you're not. You're doing something that you're not.
Yeah.
You know?
But people, like, kind of, they don't really care when it's about women, because a lot of people, and I'm not saying everyone, but there are a lot of men who don't really believe that women are treated differently. They're like, oh, it's, you know, it's not like that, when in reality it is. They just don't believe in it. And so people don't think that women are actually oppressed. So they think that it's less of an issue than, like, the LGBTQ community being oppressed or whatever, which they are too. And I'm not saying that they aren't, or that, you know, women have it harder or anything like that. I'm just saying that some people don't understand that women have that same issue.
Yeah. Women go through that too. And as far as the whole picture and video that you did about this pregnancy and whatever, the reason why I really hate it is because for women in general, there are women who would do anything to have a baby. They would do anything, and they can't do it. And it's almost like these people are mocking them and making a joke of it. And then there's people who have miscarried. And I don't think I've ever talked about this in a video. I don't remember if I have, but I have miscarried. I have miscarried twice in my life. I have 2 children, and I have also miscarried
Rainbow
twice.
baby.
They're both rainbow babies, my kids. Yeah, it's offensive what he did. You're not supposed to joke about pregnancy. You're not supposed to, like, you shouldn't even, like, on April Fool's Day play a prank that you're pregnant. Like that, it's all offensive. Yeah. It's all considered offensive.
And make it seem like it's not this difficult thing. Because, like, when you're putting on a belly or putting on those machines that simulate, you know, cramps or, you know, like anything like that, it's not the same experience. And so it's like, I don't know. That's not the extent of it, you know?
It's not at all the same.
Pregnant women don't just go through weird cravings and it's all fun and games and, pregnancy glow. Like, people were commenting on his picture, like, oh, you're glowing with your pregnancy. It's not really like that in reality.
No.
A lot of women have a lot of problems in pregnancy.
Yeah.
I've never been pregnant, but I know this.
Have very, very hard pregnancies. And it's not just about your stomach looks like a basketball. It's your hormones are different, and you get swollen, you can get high blood pressure,
weird health issues.
You can get very weird health issues. You can have morning sickness, day and night, all 9 months.
Yeah.
You can have there's just so many things that can happen to somebody when they're pregnant, and so for someone to throw on a bump and make a video out of it is really disgusting. All he cared about was making content and getting views. Like, literally, that's all he cared about. He didn't care about...
Yeah.
He wasn't doing it to try to understand women. That wasn't his goal. He didn't care. He just wanted to make a video that was going to get people talking about it.
And I've noticed this pattern. I was telling her this earlier. I've noticed this pattern with James Charles' content recently, that... because I've seen a bunch of his video titles pop up and stuff. They're all, like, very old trends. Like, a few-year-old trends that people are doing. Like, just, like, very dry content that everyone has done, he's been making recently. And then, like, not necessarily pretending that it was his idea, but he fails to mention, like, that it's a big thing.
And when other people forget to give someone credit, they get called out hard, and nobody ever calls him out. The other reason why I think what he did was disgusting and offensive is because afterwards, when people were giving him so much backlash for posting that picture, he wasn't coming out and saying, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. He didn't acknowledge any of that. The only thing he did was screenshot 1 or 2 comments from women who were defending what he did. And he thinks that just because those women defended him, that it's totally okay what he did.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah.
Like, that's with any situation. Some people won't be offended, like, because, like, for instance, me, I'm not really personally offended by most things. But that doesn't mean that it's not okay for someone else to be offended over something. And then I want to get into talking about Colleen.
Okay, so Colleen Ballinger is good friends with James Charles, and she just like a week ago had a miscarriage, and so a few days after she miscarried, he posted this video, and she even commented on the picture with like a shocked face. And she's not the kind of person who gets deeply offended by things easily, so she probably isn't offended. I don't know, I can't speak for her, but like that's like in bad taste. You know your friend just had a miscarriage and you're doing that.
Yeah, that's terrible. Because she also, obviously, the fact that she commented like that, whether she thought it was that bad at the time or not, she obviously didn't know beforehand. And being her friend, I just feel like it's like polite to ask permission first and say, hey, this has nothing to do with you. You know, I'm very sorry about what happened, but this is just a video that I filmed. Or just wait for a better time. Because this is fresh.
He should have never done it in the first place.
Yeah, like that's so insensitive to your friend. Like,
and he didn't even put anything in the caption. Like, you know, I'm sorry for, you know, women who have trouble with pregnancy or whatever, but I made this video. He just made the whole thing a joke.
Yeah. There was no disclaimer. Like, I usually like it when people add disclaimers because then you know that they're not, if they ever, like, offend you, they're not trying to.
Yeah, or they know, they're at least aware that something that they're putting out there could be offensive to someone. Yeah. But he just doesn't even give a shit.
Or put a trigger warning at the beginning of your video. Like, just say, like, people put trigger warnings like, oh, if pregnancy is a touchy topic for you, don't watch this video.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that either.
I just think that being a gay man, he should not be doing that. He should
understand.
Yeah, he should also understand. I mean, he's had people who, like, what's that thing called where they pretend to be gay?
Oh my god.
They'll like bait him into thinking that they want to date him, and then and pretend to be gay, but then in real life they're really straight and they're just like fooling him. I just think that most of the people on the internet right now that people are like really in love with and that are super popular, they should all be canceled.
Yeah.
They are all horrible.
They pretty much are.
The only one that I don't think is bad is Shane, and that's the one that every single person is bullying right now.
It makes no sense. It's completely backwards.
Yeah, Shane is actually a good person, and he did things in his past for comedy reasons, and he came out and apologized a million times saying how disgusting it was, things that he has said before for comedy, but
it wasn't good enough for him. He apologized.
Yeah, but here's the thing. When it comes to people who you're watching that you know that everything they do for the most part is for comedy reasons, it's different. It's different when you know somebody is going to be making jokes or being offensive. There are comedians.
Oh my god, Cody!
I'm going to scream. Anyway, I'm back because I have to keep picking up stuff that the cat's dropping. When somebody is a comedian, you know that they're doing things for comedic purposes. So if you think back to some of the best comedians of like the 70s, 80s, 90s, a lot of them were so incredibly offensive on stage.
Yeah.
And nobody cared.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Shane makes some gross jokes, and that's what they are jokes, because none of it is true. They're stories. It was a joke. But people, for some reason, think that he was telling true stories of things that he did, and it's not true at all. He was trying to do shock humor, which is a thing. People will say the grossest, craziest things to get a shock laugh out of you.
And it's in his past, too. That was like 10 years ago when that was cool. And not only that, but there's a difference between him and these other people because he apologized and tried to change, he tried to fix it, right? He cared about what everyone thought about it, whereas, like, James Charles and stuff, they don't care. And I feel like if you have a bunch of fans that are offended, you should care more about what your fans think of that than what your ego is telling you, like, oh, this is good content, it gets a lot of views, you know?
Yeah. People like James Charles, like Nikita Dragon, like Jaclyn Hill.
Hey! Tati,
she's a fucking bitch.
There's a lot of people who are terrible on the internet. Gabby Hanna.
Yeah.
Zoe Laverne.
Gabby DiMartino.
Zoe Laverne.
I don't know who that is.
She's a TikToker. Remember the one I told you about? She's dating a minor.
Oh,
She's dating a
Patrick
13-year-old.
Star, Tana Mojo. These are people that need to go away and never come back. Those people. But Shane is actually a good person. You can tell he's a good person.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so fucking stupid. People are literally bullying him. That's all they're doing right now is bullying him. He's already apologized for things he's done. He's already changed years
What I
ago.
don't get about cancel culture, though, is that, like, if he... Okay.
Cancel people who deserve it.
If you don't like
Jake
him,
Paul.
if you don't like him, that's okay. Like, you're allowed to not like him, but the fact that it's become a trend to hate on him and make him so severely... He's probably so depressed. Like, at least let him come back on the internet, because that would be his choice, and it's your choice. If you are so severely offended by his content and him as a person, don't watch him. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Let him come back on the internet, and then you can decide if you want to watch him or not. And that's everyone's decision, because there are still fans of his that want to see him come back.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of his. And I think that people might watch this video and go, those two girls are hypocrites. They want to cancel James Charles for being pregnant in a photo, but, like, it's okay for Shane to make jokes about having sex with his cat. But like I said, it's incredibly offensive to women what James Charles did, and he doesn't even give a shit that he offended people. Whereas Shane told those jokes like 5, 6, 7 years ago, apologized for it, and he didn't even have to, in my opinion, because he's a comedian. He says on his page, he is a comedian. He does things for comedy purposes.
Yeah.
So when people go on Saturday Night Live and make fun of people, so when people go in comedy movies and say nasty, crazy things, should they all be canceled too?
They all loved it too. Like, he has that many subscribers for a reason. Like, it started somewhere, and it started with those, like, dark humor, like, offensive jokes. And so it just doesn't make sense that everyone loved them, and now all of a sudden, because everyone gets offended so easily in 2021, it's not okay and everyone hates him for it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not fair to him. And,
they just want to do what everyone else is doing.
he's not doing it anymore. But, like, I don't know.
hope he comes back, though. There are very few people that I watch on YouTube that I watch their stuff and go, this person is legit so talented. Because there's so many people who just turn on the camera like me and you, and we just sit here and goof off and talk and be dumb.
Yeah.
And I try to edit my videos in a decent way and try to be funny about it or whatever.
Yeah.
But, and I also try to make serious content too. But people like Shane, who has an actual talent in editing and
making documentaries,
and he's very talented. And like Dylan is very talented in the way he edits his commentaries.
Yeah. Well, also he's very, like, comedic.
Yeah,
so he's super entertaining.
Yeah.
Because of that.
But I mean, if you get offended easily, don't watch Dylan.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't watch him either.
He's so dirty.
Yeah.
I mean, he will talk about the raunchy.
And he's talked about, like, race and stuff too.
Yeah.
He's talked about everything.
And he's a beloved person on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have as many subscribers as Shane or anything, but like, he's just as dirty.
Yeah. But back to, like, the James Charles thing, I wanted to just, like, throw my opinion out there about women's rights and stuff.
Yeah, real quick, this is coming from the point of view of someone who's 39. I've had 4 pregnancies and I lost 2, and this is someone who is 16 and has never gone through it. 2 totally different people, but we have the same opinion.
But I'm a
on it.
girl.
Yeah, we're both women.
And I'm
it's
educated.
offensive.
I'm educated, okay? So, my opinion on women's rights is that no man should have a say about how women should feel about certain things or how women should act or what decisions women make with their bodies or with anything. Like, I'm definitely pro-choice, if, like, that sums it up for you. Like, your body, your choice. You do what you want. It's not affecting me in any way, so why would I even care?
And saying you're pro-choice doesn't mean that you're saying you're pro one thing or another. It's saying you are pro giving that woman the right to choose what she does with her body. That's all that means.
Like, men, okay, there are some circumstances where men are allowed to put their input with certain things about women.
Yeah,
but
I think that if you are pregnant and the dad wants to keep the baby and the mom doesn't, I think that it's kind of a gray area.
You should
it's
talk
not
to him
his
about
body,
it.
but you should at least give him the decency of having a conversation with him. It's his child too.
Well, yeah, I would obviously tell him, like, if it were me, I would tell him that I'm pregnant, first of all. Don't hide it. And I would tell him what I plan on doing and how I feel. And if he disagrees, then you would just, like, have to talk it out, you know? But ultimately, it is your decision.
It's between those two people.
Yeah, it's not anyone else's situation. Like, it's no one else's business. And you also shouldn't tell other people, like, women, okay, women can be toxic too because they tell each other how to feel about things. Like, for Colleen, they thought that she was being insensitive herself because she was ungrateful for her pregnancy, which is not true.
Oh yeah, I forgot what the comment was, but so she miscarried, but when she was pregnant with her first child, she had like a really horrendous pregnancy that was really hard on her physically and emotionally and mentally, all of it. And somebody said that something along the lines of, well, you don't have a right to be upset about miscarrying because you were so ungrateful for your first pregnancy. I mean, that's not the quote, but it was something along those lines.
That's so stupid.
That's gross.
If you know her, if you watch her content at all, you would know it's the exact opposite.
Oh yeah, she's so in love with her child, it's crazy.
And she literally said that she would be willing to go through another pregnancy, even though it was horrendous the first time, just to have another kid. Everyone's feelings are valid, so like if she didn't like being pregnant, that's okay, and if other people like being pregnant, that's okay. Like, everyone has different experiences with it.
I enjoyed being pregnant with my
Skylar.
son, but I hated being pregnant with my daughter.
I gave you a lot of problems, that's why. But I don't know, I also think that men shouldn't compare their problems to women. Like, whenever a woman is having a problem that a man will not understand, you can't just say, like, oh, but it's not as bad as this, or, oh, it's really not that bad, you're using it as an excuse.
Yeah. When a woman is on a period or pregnant or had birth or whatever, nothing is an excuse. Like, it's, all the women in the world are not lying to men and saying, I have PMS, and PMS is not a real thing. It's a real thing. It's not an excuse.
Yeah.
Cramps is real. Being emotional is real.
Yeah. Like,
having pain is real.
I'm tired of the I've been kicked in the balls excuse type thing.
Try being kicked in the vagina.
It's the same pain. Yes, there might be different parts there, but that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
Try bleeding for 7 days a month.
Try pushing a watermelon-sized baby out of you.
My babies were not the size of watermelons.
Seriously, though.
That's basically what I wanted to talk about in this, because it's disgusting what he did. He needs to come out and make a statement saying he at least acknowledges how other women feel. But the truth is, if he did, I wouldn't believe him, because he'd only be doing it because so many people are trying to cancel him for it. Like, he wouldn't even mean it.
Yeah. I could go on about this forever.
Yeah.
But I know this isn't my channel, but comment down below if there's any other topics you want to hear our opinions on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind doing these kinds of videos once in a while, because it's just not something that I want to do all the time, because I know that people can really go hard on you when you give your opinion on the internet. So
Who cares?
I don't know. But I do feel very opinionated about this subject in particular because I've
You're a
been
woman.
pregnant, I'm a woman, and
You're a
I've had
mother.
2 miscarriages. It was very, very difficult to go through miscarriages. And for him to go online and mock it, or whatever he's trying to do, is just not okay. It's not okay at all. I'd like to hear your guys' opinions on this situation, what you think of it. Did you see that picture? Did you see his video? I mean, I would say here, I'll put his picture in here, but you know what? He does not deserve that. I'm not gonna put his picture on my channel.
Just go on Instagram and you'll see it.
Yeah. He's just a disgusting person. This is another thing about the pregnancy photo. So I have had 2 miscarriages, but I have also, and I've told this story before, I have a video about it. When I had my son, they couldn't find his heartbeat. So I actually thought for about, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes or so, that I was about to give birth to a dead baby. I thought I was going to have a stillborn. So anybody who goes through a full pregnancy and is all excited about it and it's great and wonderful and you're planning and then you think you're gonna have a dead baby, you know, him doing what he did is rude to those women too, because those women were all excited and wanted to do pregnancy photos and they wanted to plan for a baby.
Pregnancy can be beautiful, but I feel like he's like romanticizing and sexualizing it. Like think about all the women who really do maternity shoots like that and they're amazing, right? And then like it can just be taken away so fast.
All right, so that's going to be it for this discussion. But like Savannah said, if there's anything, like any other topics you want to hear our opinions on, I'm happy to do that as long as it's something I'm comfortable discussing. But like I said, this one I wanted to discuss because I am personally affected by what he did. I mean, not personally affected as in, oh my God, I'm going to cry myself to sleep, but like it's wrong what he did. All right, so if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit subscribe, hit the like button, leave me a comment, and we will see you next time.
Bye, poopies. Bloopers.
No, I haven't seen her.
I seriously felt it in my butt.